What's up? Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Super Reploid CLE coming at you live with another gaming video for today. As I said earlier, I was intending to finish the visual novel either today or some other time possible. And the only thing, the fact of the matter is I really want to get to the very true ending other than going to the mini endings. So, as you guys may have noticed, I left off in this part right here where I totally forgot what she asked me at that time, and I'm gonna go with the second decision. You didn't? Usually people figure it out on the first night. That's the only reason people ever came back. They would come and talk to the ghosts until they lost interest. She let out a small laugh and then seemed to realize something. That means you aren't here because I'm a ghost? You came back because you chose to be with me? Once again, I was speechless, so we stood there for a little while. Finally, she broke the silence. The sun's almost up, and I need to be going. Don't go. But I grabbed her hand and pulled her close to me. Stay with me and watch the sunrise. We didn't say anything after that. We just stood there, hand in hand, watching the sky slowly brighten. So it took hours for the sun to come up, so they watched the sunrise together. I could feel her left hand in my right, as we stood there looking out over the ocean. And then the sun rose, and suddenly my right hand was empty. I turned to look, but the girl who was standing there was gone. I guess she really is a ghost. I said no one in particular. She had told me, and I believed her. But until she disappeared, there was still a little bit of doubt. I spent the morning standing at the cliff, thinking about it. So, now this time it has 3 choices. The first one, the second one, or the third one. Which should I go to, I wonder? I'm thinking about it. And finally I realized, oh, it's 2 choices, I'm sorry. And finally I realized I had to set her free. It didn't really matter. So, where to go from here? It's kind of hard to choose because I really want to get to the very true ending. I think I'll go with, let me think, just for a second. I have to set her free, or it doesn't really matter. I think I'll go with the first one, I think. I wouldn't say it didn't really matter, because obviously he somewhat cares about her a lot. So I'm gonna go with the first one. I realized that it wasn't natural for someone like Mary to be trapped for hundreds of years as a ghost, condemned to show up only on the night of the full moon. And despite my feelings for her, I came to the conclusion that the best thing I could do was to help her find peace. I spent the next month doing research in the island's small library. I poured through every book they had on the occult, ghosts, magic, witchcraft, things like that. I read 2 books or 3 books a day. When I finished a few books the island's library had, I had them order more from the mainland. It got to the point where most of the librarians knew me by my name, and the rest knew me by my reputation as the college guy obsessed with the occult. The thing with those books was that while most of their content was made up, deep under the surface was contained a small grain of truth. The only way I could figure it out was to read everything I could on the subject, and figure out what it all had in common. On the night of the next full moon, I was ready to put what I had learned into practice. I returned to the spot where we met on the first 2 nights and watched the ocean waves slowly swirling in. Mary was there, waiting for me. So actually it is the continuation, the very great continuation to the whole entire visual novel. Which I'm very glad, because I wanted this to be long and interesting. You came back. I wasn't going to leave you alone after all that. She doesn't say anything to this. So what are we going to do tonight? Usually I spend the night walking around the island, like we did the other nights. I see. So, may I escort you? Of course. She grabbed my arm, and we started off on our customary journey around the island. We didn't talk as much this time. We didn't need to. Just being in each other's presence was enough. The chill in the air contrasted with the warmth of her skin. Who would have thought that ghosts could be so warm? We had a few short conversations to pass the time. but mostly we walked in silence. The events of last time weighed heavily on us, as we were both waiting for the other shoe to drop. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore, and came right out and asked her the question I needed to. Mary, is there something you regret never being able to do? The key insight, the kernel of truth that I discovered in all those books, was that the thing that makes a ghost is regret. What do you mean? Oops! Oh, so the third mouse button, I rolled it, it actually goes to the previous part of the visual novel. Why didn't I think of this before? What do you mean? I don't know, is there something you wanted to do, but were never able to? She thought about this for a while. Finally she responded in a barely audible whisper. I wanted to be a bride. I knew it. I had come up with a list of things Mary could possibly regret, and this was on the top of the list. She had said her dream was to get married. Heck, her dress even looked like a wedding dress. I knew that if I loved her, there was only one thing I could do, so I got down on one knee and said, Mary Harper, will you marry me? She was stunned by this, and stood there for a few seconds saying nothing. Finally she spoke. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to marry me? The most sure that I've ever been. Then, yes. Aww. I got up, and we embraced. But she was still a little confused. Uh-oh. But how can we do it? I can only go out at night, and I don't think that any minister would marry off a ghost. Don't worry, we can have a common law marriage. Common law? As long as we say we're married and make vows to each other, it counts. Really? So when can we get married? If you're ready, we can do it right now. I am. Then let's do this. I pulled out of my back pocket a sheet containing wedding vows that I had prepared. I changed my voice to sound as if I was some sort of minister and began reading. Means began to minister. Do you take this woman to be your wedded wife, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness or in health, as long as you both exist? In my normal voice, I responded, I do. I turned to Mary and repeat the vow for her. Do you take this man to be your wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness or in health, as long as you both exist? I do. We stood there for a second before I finally continued. Well, that's it. We're married. All that's left is kiss. She came close to me, and we embraced. I closed my eyes, waiting for her lips. I got this strong feeling that something might happen while they're doing this part right here. Either she vanishes, or maybe she feels transparent, or maybe it's just a kiss. Let's just see. Thank you. I heard her whisper, and I felt the warmth of her lips as they touched mine. Then I felt nothing but the cool night air. When I opened my eyes, I was alone. Man, I knew it. Yeah, what the? My granddaughter's interruption stopped my telling of the story. You kissed someone who wasn't grandma? You married someone who wasn't grandma? Well, that was before I met your grandmother. In fact, that's how I first met your grandmother. She was working as an intern in the library. And after that, I never saw Mary again. She seemed convinced. Was that really a true story? You have my word. She thinks about this for a few seconds before replying. I don't believe you. Tell me another story. Not tonight. It's after your bedtime. But look, there's a huge ball of fire about to set. It's sunset right now. And she's still wide awake. But, no buts. Now it's time to get to sleep. I turned off the lights so that she could finally go to bed. If I didn't, then my granddaughter would stay up all night and never go to sleep. My granddaughter Mary, whose name I suggested to my son-in-law while we were waiting in the hospital. My granddaughter, named for the girl I was married to for a few moments, on a moonlit beach long ago. So there was the third ending. Okay, so I'm scrolling back to the main point. Wait, I can't go back. Dang. Let me head back here to where I started. Had no idea. Going down. So now I go to, it didn't really matter. A month later, I returned to the beach. This time, Mary was waiting for me. Hey, welcome back. I suppose you have a few questions to ask me. Everyone always does. Not me. This stopped her in the tracks. You don't have any questions? Doesn't it matter to you what I am? What you are? What do you mean? You know, a ghost. That's not what you are to me. To me, you're the girl I want to be with. The girl that I love. Now this right here that's what should have been insinuated when I chose the first choice, but I guess it didn't. It was just a story in the end. Beyond that, it doesn't matter if you're a ghost or if I'm a leprechaun. All that is unimportant. What matters is that you're you and I'm me, and that we're together. With this, I started walking down from the beach. She must have been too stunned to move, as she stood in one place for a while. Finally, I turned to her and asked, "Are you coming?" "Yes." She cried out her response and started running after me. Together we set off for another moonlight walk down the beach. From that night on, we spent every full moon together. I went away to college, but I would always find time to drive down to the island to spend our night together. My first job was on the mainland, right across from the island. I would schedule my days off to ensure that I had enough time to get to the beach before Mary appeared. Oops! Eventually, I saved up enough money to buy a house on the beach, near where we first met. I started a software consulting business out of my house. It paid the bills and then some, but the most important part was I could always take time off around the full moon. I'm much into technology myself, and I'm also into YouTube. That's why, yeah, you know. So, I never missed a night. I would be there, in clear weather and in rain. Once it even snowed, and once I had make my way through the hurricane. Mary once said that it was nice to live a life where you could do what you want. I find that very true. Well, I knew what I wanted, and that was to spend my life with her. But to me, though, it's a lot in my head that I just don't know where to start right now, guys. Together we celebrated my birthday 70 times, and hers twice. We never missed a night together. Never, that is, until tonight. I'm dying. Oh, snap! Oh, man. It's not as bad as it sounds. I'm 88, and I guess it's just my time. Oh my god. So, my heart is giving out, and I told the doctors not to do anything when it goes. Do I have any regrets? Not really. I can imagine myself in the hospital bed too. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I was in a hospital bed. Some people might think I would regret not having gotten married and having children. But for me, Mary was enough, even if we never actually got married. Besides, I used the money I made in my business to put my sister's children and grandchildren through school, and there's enough left that they'll all have a nice inheritance. I leave the rest to charity. I think that taking care of my family and the world is as good a contribution to posterity as any. There is one thing I do regret, and that's that I can't see Mary for one last time tonight. It's the night of the full moon, and I'm stuck in this hospital bed, too weak to move on my own. The end is near. My sense of the world outside myself grows dim, and I focus more and more on my body as it starts to give out. I'm about to cry right now. I feel my heartbeat growing fainter and fainter. Beats, beats. And then there's silence. Finally, it stops entirely, and I realize that the end is upon me. I was ready to face it alone, but now I realize I don't have to. Mary is standing here with me. I don't know why or how, but I do know that she's here. What matters is that we're together. The world becomes white, and I feel the years leaving me. Now all I can see is Mary. For some reason, she begins walking away from me. After a few seconds, she turns back to me and asks, "Are you coming?" I run to her, and somehow grab her hand. Coming with her to where? Are they going to heaven? Or is he just following her? I don't know, but my eyes are about to water right now. I gotta keep it together, guys. I'm sorry, but this is just too touching. It's so sentimental. I mean, I know I am sometimes, but this right here, it just gets me. Together we step into the light. Ending 4. Together into the light. I think that's it. The first ending, I got the first ending. The second ending, I never did record the second ending because I was intending to go to the whole entire visual novel, but I know what the second ending is about, so I'm not gonna bother recording that part. So yeah, the fourth ending, Together into the light. So I'm taking that this visual novel here has like 4 endings or so. I really don't know, but it's a very, very beautiful visual novel. It's very touching, and yeah, it really touches the heartstrings. So there's Mary Harper, as beautiful as ever. And that concludes the visual novel of Moonlight Walks. And I did mention one time that it's short, but I'm thinking it's, well, I think I was right. My assumption was right, because like any other visual novel, the other ones I think are long. I'm really not certain, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this visual novel. I really love this visual novel. It's one of my #1 favorites. And of course, Miku Hatsune's. And the other one, Free Friends, I'm not very certain when I'll try that one, guys, but whenever I get tons of time, I'm thinking that visual novel might be longer than Moonlight Walks and of course the other ones. But whenever I get tons of time on my hands to do the visual novel, I'll do it for you guys, and of course some other gaming videos as well. And yeah, I would say that this visual novel that I did for the first time ever, Moonlight Walks, is very interesting and a very great visual novel that I've read so far. It's very, very gorgeous. I love the stuff they had in there. I love Mary Harper. I love the protagonist. I love where you have to choose from out of the 2 choices that you have to choose from. And yeah, this is destiny. So I think that concludes this gaming video of Moonlight Walks, the visual novel. I hope you guys enjoyed it to the fullest. And you guys should really try out this visual novel. It's very, very touching and awesome. I really love it. It's the same feeling I love anime and stuff like that, you know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching this gaming video. Be sure to check out my other gaming videos. And if you would like to join my Google Plus community, I will add the link in the description. It'll take you to the Silver Reploid CLE Utopia. All you have to do is just join there. Can't wait to meet more members. More videos to come soon. The Silver Reploid CLE. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite. Don't forget to share because we care. Follow me on Google Plus, and stay tuned for the challenge video. I will see you guys in the next video.